Those top four have broken away from the rest of the pack. They run single file on the bottom of the racetrack. Here's LeVar Scott in his silver Chevrolet going around the lap car out of turn 4.
LeVar Scott making the move around Ryan Roulette, who again had to tend to matters on the pit lane and was late coming out onto the racetrack. Ryan is one lap down. It's a 4-car breakaway up front. Lawless, Allen, Isabella Robusto, William Sawalich, and Cole Raz in 1.
A pretty calm and considered start to this Arca Menard Series race. Everybody minding their manners so far, and it has indeed resulted in a 4-car breakaway at the front of the field.
LeVar Scott leads that second pack of traffic off of turn number 2, which includes most of the rest of the field, all still stacked up double wide. Front 4 continue to tiptoe away, led by race leader Lawless Allen.
Lawless Allen, then you've got Isabella Robusto, William Sawalich, and Cole Raz. That is the top 4 drivers, single file, nose to tail on the bottom of the racetrack, leading the pack back to the front straightaway.
And good discipline there. Now trouble off turn number 4. 2 cars get together. Now a big pack crashing, sliding all the way down, pounding the inside safer barrier. Multiple cars involved in the crash. Dale Quarterly has a big chunk of the crash. Other cars involved now. Michael Maples has some of it. Also, Willie Mullins has a big chunk of damage on his race car. Tim Richmond with damage on his machine. Elio Castro Neves, he's got some damage. He's backwards in the middle of the ball field right now. Nolan Wilson is also crashed, Mike, among others.
A dozen cars crash and collide at lap 4 here in Daytona, and as Alex mentioned, a wide variety of cars, including Elio Castro Neves, who is backed out of the ball field. He is going to pit road, but Alex, we have no less than half a dozen cars that are just littered across the grass here in the ball field at Daytona International Speedway.
I was watching as they exited turn 4, 31 degrees of banking. It drops down to flat in the short straightaway. Couldn't tell exactly which car it was. A machine got loose on transition, maybe by themselves, maybe not. We'll have to wait for NASCAR TV to give us a better clarification. But I saw the driver correct, then recorrect, and I thought, okay, they're going to save the machine. Didn't. Overcorrected, nosed it into the safer barrier, and from there it was on. Add Catherine Legg now to the crash. Thad Moffitt has damage on his race car, significant damage to the safety clean entry. He's up against the safer barrier here. The tri-oval is completely blocked as the cars that made it through that crash, Mike, are now having to come to a stop at the entrance of the tri-oval. There's nowhere to go.
There are race cars, there is debris all over the place, and it all got triggered with a Cody Dennison harsh shot into the outside wall, and that triggered quite the aftermath. We'll recap it for you as we are under the first caution this afternoon. Back at Daytona, we are under the red flag as the track is completely blocked here in the tri-oval. Virtually almost half the field has been taken out in a crash that got started when Cody Dennison got turned, made hard impact halfway through the short straightaway before the start-finish line. When he ricocheted off the wall, that's when everybody started to pile in. So we have some cars that have been able to pull away from the accident scene. Some will need assistance. We'll recap the list of all involved in this first crash of the afternoon. From Daytona International Speedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR. Back at Daytona International Speedway, we are under the caution flag for the first time of the afternoon when a big crash breaks out before we're able to complete lap 4 of the 200-miler that we'll run here today. Right now, Alex, we look down and the wreckers are getting attached to cars. We see basically front clips of race cars laying in the infield grass, and the safety crew is putting down a lot of speedy dry because there's a lot of fluid left in the wake of this accident.
Yeah, there is, and this is just one of those things that's just super frustrating given the fact that you've massaged on these race cars, getting ready to come to Daytona. Some drivers making their Daytona debut, just trying to get some laps logged, get some experience, and then all of a sudden you end up in a heaping pile of wrecked race car. There's a ton of them. Cody Dennison was the first driver to get out of shape up off of turn number 4. Right now, there's a laundry list of drivers that have been involved in the crash. One of them is the Caleb Costner car. Also involved is Eric Caudill, Andy Jankowiak, Thad Moffitt got some of that crash. Nolan Wilson, heavy damage. Also with heavy damage down there, Michael Maples. Sean Corr's car has come to a stop at the entrance to the Arca Menard Series garage. Catherine Legg also involved in the crash.
Let's check in with Steve Post.
Yeah, you guys gave through the list there. Thad Moffitt is one of the drivers driving for the brand new Nitro Motorsports team of Nick Tucker, and had a chance to hang out a little bit and listen to Thad as he held court with reporters yesterday, and he talked about this big opportunity that he had. Thad's been around a while. He's the grandson of Richard Petty, so we've seen him raised on the Truck Series. We've seen him in and out of the Arca Menard Series, and he really looked forward to this opportunity and really looked forward to just running here at Daytona International Speedway, starting up there in the middle of the pack, and basically 2 or 3 cars ahead of him. They got out of shape, and he ended up caught up, and it very frustrating from the team's perspective. They're packing up down here. The very first effort for this race team, and I can't imagine, you put all your energy, you put all your effort into a new team, you build race cars, you put this all together, and 4 laps in, you're packing up and headed back to the garage area. They do have a second car. Amber Balkan is a team car to this, but so much hope. We talked about that in our pre-race show. So much energy, so much excitement, so much hope. And as you guys have documented, for many teams, that has gone out the window, and it's gone out the window very quickly, as it has for Thad Moffitt.
Well, one of the interesting things about this crash, Alex, is these are teams that don't have the resources of like a Hendrick Motorsports or Joe Gibbs Racing. For a lot of these teams, this may be the only car they have. They don't have spare parts. They don't have backup cars. They don't have the luxury of a fleet of cars that they can tap into and go to the next race with in Phoenix. Some of these cars are absolutely destroyed. Those that aren't will require extensive damage repair, and they just don't have the resources to really just pop a car out and pop a car back into the stable.
Case in point, like a Sean Corr, for instance, who's out of the race after 4 laps.